Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Valmiki Ramayana. So, in the last episode, we saw the meanings of the names for SriRama Chandra, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrugna. Now, how were they growing up? How did they learn things? And all would be covered in this episode. Now, this episode is the 18th Sarga of Balakanda of Srimad Ramayana. I'm just giving this as a reference point. Okay. Now let's move on. Saumitrim Lakshmanati Shatrughnam Aparam Tatha Vasishtam Paramaprito Namani Kurute Tada. So that was the sloka where we ended the last episode. Now coming to the next one, all these kids were growing up very well, and Dasharatha was having a wonderful bond with all of them. Their mothers were having a wonderful bond with all of them. Brahmanan bhojyamasa pauran janapadamapi adadat brahmananancha ratnogha mamitam bahu tesham janmakriyadini sarvakarmanyakarayat. So he all the birth related things that were needed to be done, all of them were done by Dasharatha. See, in Sanatana Dharma we have various samskaras, like something is called as Chaula samskara, where the birth hair of the kid is tonsured in a particular month. For boys, it's even month in the first year. For a girl child, it is typically in the odd month of the first year, or if they are missing it in the first year, they would get it done in the third year. So like this, there are various samskaras. Again, in the 8th year, means it's called Garbhastha, which means he would be done with 7 years. For example, the boy would have turned 7 years old. Now when you add the 1 year in which he's in the mother's womb, now it becomes Garbhastha, which is the 8th, which is essentially 8 years, because 1 year or 9 months in the mother's womb plus 7 years outside. So in that year, normally the Upanayana Samskara is done. So the Upanayana Samskara was also done for all the 4 brothers. The sloka which I just read previously, that actually means that all these samskaras were done at the right times, and so that essentially means the Upanayana Samskara was also done. And once the Upanayana Samskara was done, they were all sent to Gurukula Ashrama, and in Gurukula they were learning a lot of things. Now in the meantime, I mean to say, between they growing up till the 7th year and all, Dasharatha's affection towards Rama was more than any other brothers. So than Lakshmana, than Shatrugna, than Bharata, Dasharatha was more attracted towards Rama. Tesham keturivat jyeshto Ramo ratikarah pituhu bahuva bhuyo bhutanam swayam bhuriva sammataha. So he was becoming, Dasharatha was really enjoying Rama's company. Dasharatha was extremely happy with SriRama Chandra. So that is the point that is being told here. And now what were they doing after once they went to the Gurukulas? In Gurukula, Vasishta Maharashi taught them all the subjects. So in those days, Nyaya was taught to the princess. Tarka means logic was taught to the princess. Nyaya is, you all know, justice. So the law of justice was taught. Tarka was taught. Dhanurvidya was taught, means the archery was taught. Khadga Vidya was taught. Okay. And then all the Vedas were taught. The Upanishads were taught, and the Ardhashastra, not the one that Chanakya wrote, but basically the law of money, how do you spend your money, that was also taught. Now how do we know that Sri Ramachandra learnt all these things? When in the 100th Sarga of Ayodhya Kanda, when Bharata comes to see Rama, Sri Ramachandra asks him like about 100 questions on how the kingdom needs to be ruled, and if Bharata is actually ruling the kingdom in that particular way or not. That's called Kaschit Sarga, and by God's grace, let us hope we will also be able to do a detailed analysis on the Kaschit Sarga as well when we reach there. But all these things, how the money of the kingdom should be taken care of, how the security of the kingdom, the Rakshana Vyavastha of the kingdom should be taken care of, how the army should always be kept ready for the war, all these subjects were taught at these Gurukulas. So if somebody had to become the king, he had to know like Tarka, Mimamsa, Nyaya. I mean, many subjects. Mimamsa is the Purva Mimamsa of Vedas, where it is the Karma Kanda of the Vedas is taught. Now, Mimamsa came later, but since Vedas were taught in Ramayana, in the age of Ramayana, we should understand that the Purva Bhaga of Vedas, which is the Purva Mimamsa of the Vedas, which deals with the Karma Kanda, that also was taught to these princes. And now, how are these princes shaping up? Because all these things were taught to them. सर्वे वेदविदुस्सूराः सर्वे लोकहिते रताः सर्वे ज्ञानोपसम्पन्नाः सर्वे समुदिता गुणैः. Okay, this is a very very important shloka, because see, when a teacher teaches a subject, the teacher, it's not like, that the teacher feels that, the first bench student should be able to listen this very well, the last bench student should not be able to listen this very well. I like that student, so I'll teach the class in such a way that only he will understand. No, normally in 80 to 90% of the cases, yeah, 10% we always have issues, but in 80 to 90% of the cases, teachers, when they are in a classroom, they teach so that everybody in the class understands, right? But then, can we always go back and say that everybody in the class is at the same level after they have heard the same lesson? No. But here, all these four princes, they really learnt everything almost on an equal basis. Sarve Veda Vidasura, everybody learnt Veda with Ardha very well. Sarve Lokahite Rataha, all four of them were living in a way in which they do not damage the world, or in fact, they are living in a way so that the world actually is liking them, or they are living in a way where the world is not at all, or nobody in the world is afraid of them. Okay, so Loka Hita, Hita is good. So they are living in a way in which they are wanting the universal good. Sarve Loka Hite Rataha, Sarve Jnanopasampannaha. All of them had good jnana. See, learning is one thing. So your buddhi and your jnana, they are two different things. So jnana is again, not just having the sense of things, but also having the control on things, also knowing what to be done and at what particular point of time this needs to be done. So, and then atma jnana, which essentially means that, having the realization that I am not this body that you are seeing, but I am actually the Atman inside. So all of them had all these qualities. Sarve lokahite rata, sarve jnanopasampannaha, sarve samudita gunaihi. All of them had good qualities. All of them earned those good qualities and they imbibed those good qualities. See, when somebody has good knowledge, when they have Sarve Veda Vida Shura, when they have the Vedic knowledge, when they have the knowledge of the Shastras, and if they are not wanting the good things of the world, if they were not wishing that the world should be a better place, that's an extremely dangerous thing. We all see a lot of examples, right? For example, there was this man called Hitler in Germany. He was extremely knowledgeable. He had a great amount of passion. He had he under him the Germans invented like multiple things, the U-2 rockets and all. But what happened? He did not wish the good of the world. When you don't wish the good of the world, when you don't look for the hita, the good things for the world, when you are not wishing that the world should be a better place, a happier place, if you're using all this knowledge for yourself, that's the recipe for disaster. So it's extremely important that a person who is knowledgeable also has good good restraint on his thoughts, good restraint on his feelings, good command over his kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsaryas, and he also is a person who thinks about the good things in the world. This is extremely important. And when this is not there, it doesn't matter how much things you have learned, you would be a curse on the civilization. Okay, so this is the point that's being driven home here in this particular shloka. So they have learned even many other things. Tesham Mahateja Rama Satya Parakrama Ishta Sarvasya Lokasya Shashanka Iva Nirmalaha. in all these four brothers, if there is a competition, okay, while all of them were extremely good, the person probably would ahead of others is Sri Ramachandra, Rama Satya Parakrama, Tesham Api. So while all four of them are good, the person who is excellent is Sri Ramachandra, and he is liked with the entire world. That's what they're saying. And then what are all the things that they have learned? Gajaskandhe Saprushthecha Radacharya Sammadaha Dhanurvedecha Nirataha or Pitru Susrushane Rataha. Okay, so he knows how to fight on a elephant. He knows how to. He's an expert on the horse. He's also very good fighter when he's on a ratha or a chariot. Okay, and then he's the expert on Dhanurveda. Beyond all this, he was interested in Pitru Susrusha, which means he always goes, whenever he got time, he used to go get back to his father and he used to help him in whatever work that his father needed out of him. Okay, that's being told as a extremely important character. So see, whatever we do in our lives, whatever we achieve in our lives, if our parents are unhappy with it, if our close family members are unhappy with it, then what are we achieving out of it? This is what Ramayana is driving home. Keep your family keep your family bonds intact. Try to serve your parents, and that's a biggest cause of happiness than any other material things that you get in life. This is the biggest cause of happiness, and the blessings that you get from your parents, that is really going to take you to the next level in life. That is what is being told to all of us here. Okay, so बालात् प्रभृति सुस्निग्धो लक्ष्मणो लक्ष्मीवर्धनः रामस्य लोकरामस्य भ्रातृज्येष्ठस्य नित्यसः सर्वप्रीकरस्तस्य रामस्यापि शरीरतः लक्ष्मणो लक्ष्मीसम्पन्नो बहिः प्राण इवापरः न च तेन विना विद्रां लभते पुरुषोत्तमः मृष्टमन्नमुपानीतमस्नाति न च तं विना. So what is being told here is about Lakshmana. Now Lakshmana, again here they are using the word Lakshmano, Lakshmi Sampanno. So from the childhood itself, Balat Prabhuti Susnigdho. Snigdha means being sticky. Okay, Susnigdho. So from childhood, Lakshmana was always sticking around Ram, not the physical sticking. He was always with Ramachandra. He always was there. Okay, and wherever Sri Ramachandra was going, he was following him and he was trying to help out his brother in whatever way he could. Okay, and many people used to say that Lakshmana was Bahi Prana. See, our pranas or our life is inside us. In Sanatana Dharma, we say Pancha Prana, right? So there are 5 prana vayus in us: Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Well, there are 10 vayus in all, but then we consider these 5 as the most important vayus in our body. Vayus is air. So the people are used to say that Lakshmana is the Bahi Prana. So if Rama's life or if Rama's pranas were outside, that would be in the form of Lakshmana. Lakshmana is a Bahi Prana of Sri Ramachandra. That's what is being told. And then most importantly, they're saying, see, Nachatena Vina Nidram. Even Lakshmana wouldn't sleep if he is not there, if he is not there around Sri Ramachandra. Okay, and even if he is given the best of the foods, he would say, I would eat it only with Sri Ramachandra. If Sri Rama is not there, Lakshmana would not be happy even while eating the best of the foods available. Okay, and then Bharata and Shatrughna also became friends the same way. So while on one side Rama and Lakshmana became very great friends, Bharata and Shatrughna also became great friends than just being brothers. So brotherhood is one thing. Now, particularly in India, if you go 1-2 generations beyond, you would always see that brothers fighting among themselves for properties, that this, and also it's not always true that the brothers can be the best of the friends, right? You might even have brothers who might not even see each other's face, which is very unfortunate. We are from the country from where Ramayana has come, so we can't be like that. We should not be like that. So in Ramayana again they're saying that these brothers, than just being brothers, they have become snigdha, they have become sticky, and they have become inseparable, and they have become pranamitras. They have become the sneha bhavana between them has gone to such a huge level is what is being told here. Now everyone is happy. Listening to this makes us all happy, right? Everything was good. Everyone is happy. All these things are happening. So one fine morning, Dasharatha said, "Okay, let me get SriRama Chandra married." Around the same time, the Pratihari came running towards him and said, "Sir, outside the palace, we have Viswamita Maharashi who is waiting for you." Dasharatha immediately stood up. Sarajnyo Darsanakankshi Dwaradhyakshanuvachaha Sighramakhyatamaam Praptam Kausikam Gadhina Sutam. So Dasharatha immediately said, "Bring him with all due respect here. I myself will receive him." Saying this, he ordered the Pratihari to go and get the person. He himself stood up and ordered that, the things that are needed to welcome Kaushika. Kaushika is the other name for Vishwamitra Maharshi, and he is the son of Gadhi, the king called Gadhi. So he said, Dasharatha said, make arrangements that we give him the proper welcome that needs to be given. I'm so happy that he has come. Now, Vishwamitra has arrived. Now, what will Vishwamitra do? And why did he arrive exactly at the particular point of time where when Dasharatha was just thinking about marriage? We'll see in our next episode. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ तत्सत्. सर्वं श्री साई महाराज स्वामी चरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु.